Hey there, Hoops fans. How you doing? It's your boy Jonathan Macri with you for another episode of NBA Takedown. I would put myself at about 83%, which means I would be questionable if I was Karl Anthony Towns, but I'm still going to give it a go. I am joined, as I am every Monday, by Shawn with a W. Hello, Shawn. How are you?
I'm good. I know this is an NBA podcast, but I'm good because the Browns lost, the Bengals lost, the Steelers lost, and the Ravens won.
I didn't
Great day.
didn't need that energy to start the show. I actually watched so I told you before I was in SNY Studios last night and I walked in and they had the Steeler game on because it was the night game and obviously they had it on and they were winning when I walked in and by the time I left they were down by 10, I think. So I'm like, okay. This is why I don't follow football anymore. I can only take so much loss in my life. I'm happy you're happy.
It's crazy coming from a Steelers fan saying I can only take so much losses in my life. Usually they're the one providing the wins, but whatever. What are you gonna do?
Listen, man, it's been a while, but you know what? We stick with our coach. We have virtues. We have pride. We have integrity. The laughter you hear is emerging from none other than Jeff J. Hello, Jeff. How are you?
What's going on, brother? How's everything going?
It's going pretty good. Okay, got a little voice crack out of the way. I am hoping to be 100% by Wednesday. So, Jeff, would you put that time frame about the same as, less than, more than how long it's going to take the Knicks to recover from South Beach?
Oh, they're young. They're good today.
Thanks for that, by the way. Hold on. How long is it going to take them to recover? They're young as opposed to me, who's old as shit.
I'm just saying. Hey,
we're all old as shit.
Facts. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like our recovering time is drastically decreased. Them guys, by the time they get back in their own beds or they got on the plane, they already, their battery hit 100%.
Even Jordan Clarkson's 33.
I think he's 33.
I think he's 30. I thought he's 31.
31 or 33.
I can look this up.
Listen, yeah, but either way, people make 30 seem like it's 300. Your reaction time is diminished, but it's not as diminished as like when you get to your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, right? And plus, he's a professional athlete, so he stays conditioned to a point where the bounce back he can mitigate aging. And he looks like he takes good care of himself. So
yeah, well. We could talk about other Knicks who may not have taken as great care of themselves.
Oh man,
he's 33 by the way.
Over the summer, I can't do any more Yabu talk. I've had enough. Could that man please go out there and like not fall over himself? Yeah, I don't know how you guys felt. For me, 30, there was a cliff at 30, and then it was a gradual downward until 40, and then 40 there was another cliff. And I don't know if it was a bigger cliff than 30, but it was. I'm at the bottom of something. Shawn, you seem to recover really well though for a man of our age.
Yes. If we're talking about alcohol consumption, I don't recover as much as I used to. If you're talking about just in life, 30, I didn't listen. I was fine until like one day on NBA Takedown After Dark. I'll tell you the story of my 35th birthday party. And the next morning is that was when the descent started for me.
Oh, okay. Everybody has a moment, for better or worse. Jeff, do you have a moment in your mind?
No, not really. I mean, I'd say for injury wise, like once you hit 30, that's when the annoying injuries start. It's like you were just walking, minding your own business, and your knee acts up. Clouds form in the sky and you start getting aches and pains that you never felt before due to barometric pressure. It's those type of things that will set you off. I remember stepping out of my car after I parked it and my Achilles tightened in a way I never felt before. I'm talking about left foot out to step out the car. The Achilles gripped the back of my foot and alarms like the Star Trek red alert went off in my head. And I literally picked up my leg with two hands, put it back in the car, and said, all right, everybody. All right, that's on me. That was a bad one. We're going to roll again. Are we speeding? Okay. Jeff, get out the car. Let's not blow our ACL. Take two. Action. And I literally had to set it back off. That's what I knew. Oh, this aging is really different.
This happened at 30?
Probably past 30. Probably past 30. But I'm like, it would have been the worst freak accident to recount. Because what am I saying? How'd you tear your keys? I was stepping out of my car. How unathletic does that sound?
Bro, wait, I got you. We're gonna get to basketball very soon. I promise. It's a lot of banter. We have a lot of basketball to get to. On my 30th birthday party, which my now lovely wife Dolores, we used to go bowling together. How sweet, right? And we went bowling with her sister's now husband, a couple other friends, and I was like, I was in pretty good shape at the time, the whole thing, and I went and I, like as one does, released the ball down the lane, and I actually forget which knee it was, but one of my knees just buckled, and I fell on my ass in the middle of bowling alley. Yes, my 30th birthday, and I like looked up and I'm like, what happened? And I've never recovered since then, and I'm 42. But listen, we move forward. Thank you, Shawn, for containing your laughter. I do appreciate that.
We can move on. I could talk about. I
know you can.
I remember when the drop happened for me, but we'll go in that rabbit hole. Let's talk basketball.
Okay. No, I asked Jeff the question because when I sent you guys the rundown for the show, like, hey, let's go over the 0 teams without a loss or teams without a win. Jeff, you texted that we were a few mojitos and hookah tables away from including the Knicks in that undefeated group. Alas,
just a couple. One too many. It's hard to shake off.
Just a couple. It happens. South Beach is undefeated. So, as it were, we have here are the teams that we are. Well, we're going to talk about a lot of teams today because this is really just a jumping off point. But we're going to start with our undefeated teams because we try to be positive here at NBA Takedown. We are nothing if not a positive group of folks. So we have 4 undefeated teams, 3 teams that are 3-0. Okay, or 2 teams that are 3-0, excuse me. OKC and the Spurs. And then we have 2 teams that are 2-0, which should make for a slightly more interesting conversation. The Sixers and the Bulls. We talked about the Thunder a lot last week. I don't know what there is to say about the Thunder. Either of you guys have any hot takes on the Thunder other than that they're awesome? Because I don't. Yeah. They're really good.
Watch AJ Mitchell. He's making a case. I keep saying it. Watch that guy.
But
he's here for a long time at a good time.
Like, fuck all the way off with the 30 whatever pick in the draft on that team getting off the bench and scoring 25. Like, really? Why? We needed this in our lives? We did not need this in our lives.
I'm telling you.
Speaking of things we don't need in our lives, Wemby is averaging 33 and 13. He has 23 stocks, credit Bill Simmons, which is blocks plus steals, 18 blocks, 5 steals. That's 11 more than the next closest guy. The Defensive Player of the Year award is now officially is this guy going to play 65 games award?
I made multiple futures bets.
God bless you.
No, parlays. Like, for example, and Benedict Mathurin, most improved player, and Wemby, because I'm like, this part of the parlay is going to hold up. So I just need Mathurin or Nandra Nemhard to hold up his end of the bargain.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. The Pacers are going to need to win some games for one of those guys for them to be able to get in it. Okay. On to the 2-0 teams, both of whom reside in the Eastern Conference. And just as everybody predicted, the Chicago Bulls and the Philadelphia 76ers. So we're going to start with a little audio. Let's hope this works. This is the first time we've tried to play audio on this show. So everybody keep their fingers crossed. Here we go.
You better believe, baby. You better believe. The hype is real. This is a different team. It's a different team.
That is the audio.
This is not the same team that a few years ago. This is a different team. It's a deeper team.
After the Bulls beat the Orlando Magic, I think that's 5 different teams from Stacey King. 5 times he said this is a different team. In case you missed it, this Bulls team's different. Stacey King, of course, is one of the Bulls announcers. He's unabashedly a homer. Yes, the Bulls are 2-0. That's nice. My question to you guys with this, and I asked this because I saw another tweet, and this one's from someone who does a very good job with her NBA takes, Betsy on Twitter. So this is her response to the Bulls quote tweeting themselves at 2-0. Why are they doing this to me? I think she's a Bulls fan. If the Bulls pick 12th in another generational draft class, I might literally light myself on fire outside the United Center. Thank you, Betsy, for that. Betsy does great work on like salary cap stuff, and like she's just a really good follow. So if you are not following her, you should follow her. Thoughts on the Bulls, fellas? Because if you were a Bulls fan, which camp would you fall into? Are you drinking the Kool-Aid, or are you like, why are we doing this to ourselves?
Listen, the Bulls outside of one Derrick Rose MVP season with your boy Tom Thibodeau have done fuck all this century, and they've been in the worst place to be, which is bang average. So if I'm a Bulls fan, I'm not. Listen, so I did a little research. I looked up all the teams in the last 10 years that started 3-0. And this happened 40. It's happened. Look at me actually doing some work instead of showing up here running my mouth.
But we love you for that.
Yeah, but I mean, anyone can do that. Shit. Well, people get paid way more than me to do that on 4-letter networks, but we move. 44 teams have started 3-0 in the last 10 years. 11 of them didn't even make the playoffs.
Okay. That's a good stat.
So there's a 25% chance this means nothing off the rip, right? So with that said, like, it's early. And to Betsy's point, like, as Knicks fans, we saw this on a worse scale. It's like the Knicks were always bad, but they were rarely like top 3, top 2 in the draft bad. We're always picking 7th, 8th, 9th, 7th. So it's like at some point, like, what are you trying to do here? So I'm with Betsy. Like, this can't, like, you gotta get out of this run because this team is not winning. This team is not a contender. They're not. So what are we? So what are we going to do? What are we? All right, listen. Listen. If I'll book any Bulls win the Eastern Conference bet, you bring that action over here. But Betsy's right to be skeptical.
Jeff, where you at?
Yeah, I would agree with Betsy only in the sense that I'd say for this sole reason. The Bulls have been in the what are we phase of their relationship as a team with their fans for a minute. They go into play-in. It's always 9th or 10th. DeMar DeRozan decided to be a good dad one year, and their saving grace, their X factor, his daughter screaming the living daylights out of these players and shaking them up. She had to go to school one day, and they end up losing in that second play-in game. Right? Mm. It's just hilarious. Like I look at them and I'm wonder, are y'all trying to compete? Are you trying to just be good enough? Is this just positive? You're getting the wins out of the way, and this is just a blip and not a trend. I'm sure as Bulls fans, and I talk to Bulls fans, right? Not the nebulous. I talk to fans, and it's nobody. I actually know Bulls fans, like for real, from Chicago Bulls fans, and they're just tired of being mediocre. And treading that Mendoza line every time with this team. It's like, if we're going to tear it down, tear it down. The problem is now they have good young players. They have Mata Vazelis. They have
Vazelis is the guy.
Yeah. They have guys who, even Josh Giddey after that trade with OKC. They have a good foundation, but you just don't know if they're ready to if they're trying to take the leap, or is this just good results after all? So for me, I'm like, okay, if this is a true rebuild, you need to truly rebuild. Either you need to truly rebuild, or you need to make a significant move to get out of that 7 to 10 play-in swamp that you've been in. So if that's all you're going to do is tread water, then no, I wouldn't be hyped, because this is going to be a short-term success sacrificing long-term stability.
So I want to point out the two teams that they've beaten are the Detroit Pistons and the Orlando Magic. I did not watch the Pistons game. I actually, because I have very real issues, watched most of the Bulls Orlando game. That was a rock fight of epic proportions. In the Detroit game, the Pistons hit 7 threes against the Bulls. They only took 24, but they were 7 of 24. We're going to talk about the Magic in a bit. So, like, unless you think that the Bulls are now based on a foundation of sustainable defense with the likes of Vooch and Giddey and Kevin Herter and Trey Jones playing significant minutes. And yeah, they do have some like good defenders on their roster. Isaac Okoro. By the way, the next point that Isaac Okoro scores, he will then have more points than we do for the Bulls this season. As of now, we are still all tied. Listen, man, maybe it's going to happen for Isaac Okoro one day. We'll see.
And Kobe White is out.
And Kobe White's out. So when he comes back, that'll help the offense, maybe not so much the defense. So I'm with you guys. Look, I think if you go out and you play hard and you have a competent group of players who have a style of play, and the Bulls did definitely have a style of play last year. Like, put up a ton of threes. They were really fast. Like, I think they could go out there and be like a round of 500 team this year in this Eastern Conference. In this Eastern Conference is going to be a phrase that we're going to want to fire into the outer space very soon because we're going to use it a lot. But like, yeah, I don't really know what you do with this one.
One thing to watch.
Yeah.
Plus 20-point differential in the fourth quarter. Are they the fourth quarter Bulls? If it's close or if they're down, they're going to own the fourth and make a comeback. So that's something that I'm gonna watch, because if that is something real, if they're like the never say die, they're gonna play hard and they'll take over the fourth, they'll win a lot of games that they're probably not supposed to.
If this was happening because Buzelis was like taking an early leap, and Buzelis had a really good game in game one, he did nothing in game two. By the way, apologies to my buddy Mike's son. He texted me over the weekend. He's like, "Hey, can you give my son?" His son's like 10 years old or something. "Can you give my son fantasy basketball advice?" And my advice to him before the Bulls Magic game was to pick up Buzelis. Got him 3 fantasy points. So, because he was coming off a great game. I was like, "Hey, man, I believe in Buzelis."
That's a good long-term pick.
It's a good long-term pick, right?
But long-term pick.
He didn't even do anything in the second game. I don't know. We'll see what happens with the Bulls. The other team that I want to touch on before we move on to the teams that are not doing as well is the Sixers. Watch both of their games. Watch a lot of the Hornets game. Again, I have real issues. And I just want to take a second to talk about Quentin Grimes, who we all know very well as Knicks fans here. And I just have to ask the question. I'm going to put this up. I don't know if we're going to be able to. Oh, yeah, that actually came out pretty well. Okay. So we could see this. So if you're not watching on the YouTube, we're looking at the trades that sent Quentin Grimes out of New York, out of Detroit, and out of Dallas, respectively. And then fast forward to Philly this summer after the dude averages 21 points a game with the Sixers last year. And they respond by reportedly not making him a real contract offer at all. Like, the offers that were offered were like, why in the world? He'd be insane to take them. And so now they have him on the qualifying offer, which is like, not that we don't really think very highly of you, but like, that's not where you want to be as a franchise or a player for that matter. And I'm asking myself as I'm watching Quentin Grimes go 5 of 8 from 3, hit literally the game-winning shot against the Charlotte Hornets on Saturday night. I'm like, what is wrong with Quentin Grimes that no team believes in him? Like, you're looking at some of the trades that, like, I mean, forget the Mavs trade in which they got Caleb Martin. Like, everybody laughs at that one, but it's not like the other trades were much better. Like, it was a Tim Hardaway salary dump, but all they got was 3 second-round picks, and the Mavs got Grimes. And then before that, we know what the Knicks, they got an old Bogey and old Alec Burks. Meanwhile, it's like he's exactly the sort of guy the Knicks could use. Like, I don't know, Shawn, do you have any answer for this? Because doesn't there have to be something going on here more than meets the eye? Because I have no other explanation.
For me, it goes back to college, and me and Jeff and Cedric Shine, shout out to him, talk about it all the time. Like, he was like the number 4 combo guard in the country out of high school. He goes to Kansas, and then it doesn't work, and he transfers to Houston, and he's from the Houston area. And I remember researching and like what went wrong. And you can't find any, like Bill Self was not saying he did this or he did that or he didn't do this.
No.
Like you can't find any reason why it just didn't work. My guess has always been, I think Quentin Grimes envisions himself as a better player than he actually is. And listen, I'm the one that always says, like, listen, if it worked for if Quentin Grimes could have worked in New York, the Knicks would have we might have Giannis Antetokounmpo on the team right now.
Oh,
because we'd have we'd have 5 draft picks that we wouldn't have had to trade for Mikal Bridges, right? So I like that's I don't know. Like clearly this kid is good. Clearly this kid can play. It just for some reason teams are just like for some reason NBA teams are just like, yo, we're good. And to the point where Philly would like restricted free agency benefits the team that has your rights more than anything else in the league. And they're like, yeah, you can take the qualifying off. We're good.
But if you're a guy that thinks more highly of his skills, then aren't you someone that like aren't you going to see that on the like I'm thinking of Cam Whitmore, who the Rockets even though the guy's like a proven scorer, the Rockets traded him to Wizards and was like, here, go rot in Washington. And already we have a clip of Cam Whitmore like having a on court something of like a hissy fit and like throw something towards the bench or whatever. Like Quentin Grimes is out there doing like celebration, pre-choreographed celebration shit with Joel Embiid and like great two-man game. His teammates seem to like him. I'm not saying you're wrong, but the visual evidence would seem to suggest that is not it, which is again, what like Jeff, do you have a better theory? Because I don't. I have nothing.
If you ask me for a theory, it's probably the good enough to get me better players theory. Trevor Ariza was traded 11 times. Marcus Camby was traded 7 times. The problem may be that he's stuck in the team's opinion as a level of good where if a better offer arises, he's going to be the first one out the door smoking because we know. I mean, who was it that remember when the Lakers made the trade for Anthony Davis? They had a good young core and they were like, yo, these guys, look at Josh Hart. Look at Josh Hart, for example. That's another guy who he was searching for an NBA home. And after his stint with the Knicks, after his current stint, after the first few seasons, you could make the argument that if you told somebody today, yeah, Josh Hart's been looking for an NBA home, they would think that you were nuts. How is somebody like that searching for stability? It's because these teams know if you're not a superstar or a super young, you might just be good enough to flip. It's like leasing a car. I might love this car, but the new model comes out after my 2-3 year lease is up. I may want to upgrade because I know this car is good enough to get me something better. So now with Grimes, and I will take the Dallas one out of it because Nico's been on a nasty heater. They'll have 12 months with his trade. So your mileage literally may vary on how you like the trades that the Mavs had made. But I do think the Sixers are roll the dice with him with the qualified offer. You show us how good you are, and if it's cost effective for us to keep you, we will. And otherwise, we'll sign and trade you and try to get some assets. That's how they're looking at it right now. And the emergence of VJ Edgecombe probably makes that decision a little easier for them.
Yeah, if you think Edgecombe is your 3 long, well, and plus they have McCain too, who we haven't seen on the court because he's dealing with an injury.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, if I have to give an answer, I think both of you guys gave good answers. It might just be like a wrong place, wrong time situation, as opposed to, you think of a guy like Robert Covington, who for years was traded for like, how many times did that guy get traded for like first round picks?
Yeah.
But he was like similar to Grimes in that he was never that level of player. But like, again, right place, right time for him. Teams were like, oh, let's go grab that guy. With Grimes, it's almost been the opposite. I don't know. It's weird. I think, I don't know. I have a feeling something.
You know where Grimes would cook?
Where? Other than every team he's already been on? Where?
The New York
New York
Knicks.
I was about to say, like, it's, you know,
This the 25-26 New York Knicks. Holy hell. That would be
have to go
crazy.
there. I'll get depressed. No, the Knicks are look. The Knicks are
No, I'm
fine.
just
The Knicks are in a
saying,
great.
just you think about what they could use with the new mindset if they had their options. Like if Grimes was a unrestricted free agent.
I mean,
Which he will be
he's
in
gonna
a
be,
year,
as, you know.
in December.
They're not gonna have money. Though,
I'm just
unfortunately.
saying. I'm not saying.
All right, you're not saying. You're just saying. Okay. Now we move on to the second portion of the program. We have 5 winless teams. It's interesting how this works out. The 2 3-0 teams are in the West. The 2-0 teams are in the East. The 3-0-3 teams are in the East. The 3-0-2 teams are in the West. So undefeated or a winless Celtics, Pacers, Nets, 0-3. Rockets, Pelicans, 0-2. And Shawn, I am going to start off with a question for you as I add this tweet to the stage. This is a tweet from Matty World is his Twitter name. And the tweet says, and I'm not saying who this person is a fan of. This person is a fan of an NBA team and tweeted out, "This is worse than being ass and losing games. We just went all in and we're losing games we should win." So, Shawn, I have a 2-part question for you. 1, what team do you think this person is a fan of? And 2, do you think this team is down bad worse than the 5-0 teams?
And this team is one of the over teams, or is not?
Well, no, this team is not one of the over teams.
Okay.
Do you have a guess as to who this person is a fan of? I'll read the tweet again. "This is worse than being ass and losing games. We just went all in and we're losing games we should win." Jeff, be ready to what do they call it in Family Feud when you
be ready to steal?
be ready to steal?
Oh, be ready.
Yeah.
Let's go, Shawn. Let's go.
Well, and because I try to be as transparent as possible for those listening on the podcast, I can figure out who this team guy roots for by his Avi. However, I would have guessed this team anyway.
I didn't even look at I couldn't even see anything in the Avi.
That's because you're old and you have bad eyesight.
Yeah.
But I would have guessed this team anyway, and it's the Orlando Magic.
It's the Orlando Magic.
Because
Congratulations.
when you trade what you trade for, when people been blowing smoke up your rear end for the last 2 years about how you're next, and then you trade all that stuff for Desmond Bane, and Paolo Banchero is the second coming of Carmelo Anthony in more ways than one. People are gonna expect things. And again, I've been on this slowdown about the Magic for 2 off seasons now, and maybe people will start listening to me.
Jeff, I'm gonna, as I put up a little video here. This is footage of Paolo Banchero taking a shot at the end of the game against the Hawks, under 10 seconds left on the clock, and does. Not quite a 1-footed heave. How would you describe that shot attempt there?
That was like a hairline shot. It was just fading away slowly, slow fade away from deep. Is that hairline starting in the back of your head type fade away? Like, yeah. I honestly think he thought there was less time on the clock. He had to, because when I looked, it was 10 seconds left, and maybe he saw the 0 and not the 1. So he was like, "Oh, I gotta get this up." That's the old.
And I have bad eyesight.
I watched that so many times, and I'm like, "How can I shoot? I'm gonna be your PR firm. How can I shoot you some bail?" And he puts it up when it's at 10 seconds, and the way the clock goes down from 10 to 9, I said, "Yo, did he think he had less time?" To me, if he knew the time situation and took that shot, oh man, that was just an all-time brain fart. That was a serious. I won't say all time, but that was a serious brain fart.
It wasn't great, and I mean, Shawn, I'm gonna start calling you Nostradamus here because, like, before you went on your little Paolo thing before anybody had played a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, and now we got stuff like this. So NBA University tweeted out really bad brand of basketball by Paolo Banchero tonight. To which, who was this person? Red responded, if NBA University makes a negative tweet about you, it might be it might dead ass be over. I will just say briefly that I have shout out to Knicks Nation, because Knicks Nation is like the tentacles are everywhere. I have someone that's a Knicks fan that follows Knicks Film School and has followed me, that has I want to be very vague about this, has a relative that works in the Magic organization. And I periodically get a little inside look at like how folks on the inside of the Orlando operation are thinking about things and looking at things. And let me just say, for the last few years, there's been some frustrations, and it feels like a goodly amount of those frustrations are now maybe coming out, and the national public is kind of seeing them. So Shawn, I'm just gonna give you the floor. Thoughts on this situation?
Jeff is hilarious. Okay. I realized about myself like recently is that I'm very, very good at sussing out narratives and identifying when narratives are over, when narratives and hype are overtaking what the actual product. And I feel like that has helped me I feel like it's helped me with gambling and futures and stuff like that. Like, again, I like tell people all the time, I had the Sixers not making the playoffs because I was like, this number doesn't make any sense. This number is way too high for a team that could easily have the year from hell. And I remember seeing that tweet from NBA University, and the quote tweets and the replies from that tweet were like, it was a combination of like the Paolo supporters who were just like, yo, we have nothing. And then others were like, we told you so, and what have you. I mean, at the end of the day, we all fall in love with the young player that scores 20, and we are so anxious to crown him as next and say, all right, he's going to be the leader. He's the next great guy. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. And we don't look at the situation. We don't look at where he is. We don't look at who his teammates are. We don't look at his coaching staff. It is like, not everyone could be Luka, who walks into the league and just starts kicking people's ass from day one. Like, yeah. So, like, as I said before, I think I said it on KFS Study Hall, like, my dislike for certain situations has less to do with disliking the player and more about the discourse around the player. Same thing with Tyrese Halliburton. I don't dislike Tyrese Halliburton. I'm not going to tell you he stinks. But when you start telling me he's the next Steve Nash and next Chris Paul, his second year in the league, I'm like, yo, we got to relax. We have to relax.
So, Jeff, as someone, I will admit, I've sided with the Paolo Hive. Not like big time, but like there was like a Scotty Barnes thing for a while. And I found myself on the Paolo side of that purely because I looked at Paolo. I'm like, okay, the guy does have one identifiable NBA skill. He gets to the line a ton. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, this year he's getting to the line 9.3 times per game. You'd like him to hit more than 75% of those. But even that can't make up for the fact that he's never been over 50% effective field goal percentage, which again is like, that's in the NBA today, that's a low bar. That's the RJ Barrett bar. Sorry, but not really that. Sorry. And he's at 35.8 effective field goal percentage through 3 games. It's not where you want to be. I guess I'll flag this as a situation now that is worth monitoring as like, oh, this could go pretty badly if this goes on this trend. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Oh, for sure. There's the other thing with, first of all, the guy who tweeted the "we're ass and we went all in and I'm upset" tweet. I wouldn't say all of that. What I would point out is the minute you make that trade for Desmond Bane, all eyes are on your franchise player, because now you are entrusting that player with making another leap. Because you understand that in order for you to reach the heights that people are projecting you to reach, you have to be better than you were before. You cannot be the same player, because the same player couldn't overcome, of course, injury and all of that. But even when he was playing, there were obvious shortcomings. You don't see open players. Like, you haven't been able to see the court as well and find open players. Like, you got Desmond Bane and Franz Wagner on the team. You should be seeking them out. And that type of elevation that you do for your personnel around you is what is going to take your team from all right to contender to legit championship contender. And that's where the pressure is going to be on him. And now, for the first time, to Shawn's point, you got a dude who's going to have more eyeballs on him because people expect hashtag in an open Eastern Conference that this team should be a top 4 team, and it should not be a struggle.
Top 3.
Top 3, even. Top 3. And I say top 4 because some people value the Hawks over the Magic, but at least you should have a top seed in the Eastern Conference, and it should not be this much of a struggle. It should not really be a struggle for y'all at all. There wasn't there over under like 50 games?
50 and a half, was it?
Yes, 50 and a half.
50 and a half.
If your over under is 50 and a half, then that tells me that there should be no doubt that you're one of the teams that are emerging as contenders in the East. And that's just added pressure that he's going to have on him. He has the skill set, he has the capability, but can you make that next progression? Now you have a probably the best supporting cast that you've ever had. What are you going to do with it? And when you don't do stuff and people see it, they're not going to be quiet anymore, because at some point, every player reaches that point in their career where they stop being the fresh new thing, the fresh new player that everybody supports, and eventually the heel turn happens where everybody starts scrutinizing you. And he is at that point right now.
Signing a max contract this past summer probably nudged that a little bit along even further.
That too.
Listen, your man Jeff Teague this summer, your man.
My man?
I'm not saying the name, just your man, Jeff Teague. Like he said this summer, like Paolo Banchero's top 10 right now. He said
he didn't
that.
say that.
Yes, he did. I'm looking at the tweet right now. He was on 520. He said, yo,
he's not my he's not my man. If he said that, he's not my man.
I said general your man, not you, but like, you know, I'm reading the tweet right now. I'd take him over Wemby right now.
Oh, come on now.
He said that. And then B-Hen, his co-host, he's in my top 10. I'm taking him over AD, Braun, Steph, Embiid, Booker, Brunson, whatever. And what I retweeted it, and I said, the idea, and this is where we get caught up. The idea of Paolo Banchero is better than Paolo Banchero.
It is.
And I said this in July. And like we tend to, and I say all the time, I always say that he's Jewish a better PR. And the pushback that I get the most often is, well, that was Julius year 7, year 8, 9. Paolo, this is Paolo's year 1, 2, and 3. And we have this assumption that like whatever player, like every young player, like their beginning is their baseline, and they will always get better, and the progression is linear, and it'll always be better. And how many young players do we see start off and then it turns out that's just who they were? Hi, Tyreek Evans. Hi, Michael Carter Williams. Like but people don't want to understand. People don't say that for guys that they like. So it's like, oh, he's going to be better simply because he's 22 years old. And I'm not saying that he's never going to be any better, but this idea that it's automatic that because he did this year's 1 and 2, he has all NBA seasons in the bag. That's something that we got to chill on. And not just Paolo. There's plenty of guys in the league right now that I can say that for.
Leap extrapolation. That's what's happening right now.
Man, it's so funny. Like tops of drafts. I love going back every year after a draft happens and like reassessing. Sometimes it'll take sometimes you might get a good idea of a draft after like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. We're 3+ years, and Paolo 1, Chet 2, Jabari Smith 3. I mean, keep going down from there. Like Keegan Murray 4, Jaden Ivey 5, Benedict Mathurin 6. Like we're still having like it's gonna be an interesting conversation with like the top half of that lottery for a while. Meanwhile, there's Jalen Williams falling to 12 and. Again, fuck OKC, really, truly. Okay, let's talk about some of these winless teams real quick here. So I'm not like, to me, the reason why I wanted to start with that, because like I don't know how you could really be too upset. Like, so the Rockets are the one team that was supposed to be very good that's 0-2. They had 2 very close losses, including maybe the game of the year to OKC. I'm not worried about them. The Nets, I think I would argue actually that the Nets are doing the absolute best tanking job you could do. They have managed to get down by 25 points in each of their last 2 games to the Cavs and the Spurs. And then after going down by 25 to the Cavs, they got within 1. And then after going down by 25 to the Spurs, they actually took a 5-point lead and they lost both games. Spectacular tanking job early there for Brooklyn. We did a lot on Mathurin last time. He's averaging 31 points a game. He missed the last game against the Wolves, which the Pacers lost because they are winless. But they're spunky. And the Pelicans are the Pelicans. I don't know. We'll talk about the Pelicans at some point. And then we have the Celtics, who have 3 close losses to Philly and the Knicks and the Pistons. And I am just going to ask both of you fine gentlemen, would you like to discuss this issue, which is currently on the screen? So there are a lot of people who tweet about this. I put up Mitchell Robinson's Instagram post about Jaylen Brown's choice to Shawn, help me out here.
Listen, he's holding on for his choice to hold on for dear life. We have a saying in the community, in the culture, that sometimes it's time to come home when your hairline is not where you want it to be. And Jaylen Brown, like, the street lights came on and he refuses to go inside. That's all, and that's all that Stone Cold has to say about that.
Jeff, anything you want to add?
For those watching, for those listening, the look Jeff is in is silent astonishment.
So I'm careful about a lot of this because I don't initiate hair jokes on people because I honor the hair gods and I say, I don't want to press. Having said that, those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Carlos Boozer gave the blueprint for what to do and what to avoid when you're trying to darken your hair a bit to fill it in. There's sprays that you can use, but when you're going to play full court basketball at the NBA level, you either got to get something in your bank account and your level of financial, your financial status in the country, and your bank account should say you could probably find something that can last through a game of basketball. But if you try to put something that's less permanent, you're going to have those issues. It didn't help that the social media sleuths found out that the Celtics posted a picture of Jaylen Brown warming up before the game, and his head looked super dark. Like, I'm talking about, his hair looked extra black, and nobody would have noticed. No one would have known if it wasn't for them damn kids in New York and their dog too, right? Here's something that's hilarious that I'll tell y'all. Before the OG thing, Cat was at the line. And Cat had it on his jersey too.
Oh, man.
And when I saw it at home, and I was like,
I didn't see that.
Where the hell did Cat? If you go back to the game, there is a part where Cat is shooting a free throw where you will see a black ink blot to his right side, I want to say. And I saw it and I was like, where the hell did Cat dirty his jersey? Now, of course, Cat falls a lot and he fell into the stanchion. So I said, oh, damn, he must have rubbed up on the stanchion or something like that. Like, it's crazy. It's similar to a baseball player when their jersey is dirty because they were sliding and doing all of that. So I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. Then after the game, I see this video and I was like, man, Jaylen Brown tagged multiple people with his head. Like, that's crazy. I didn't even think his hair looked crazy like that without the darkening whatever he used, the Beijing or whatever he used on his hair. I didn't think he needed it.
Me neither.
I didn't think he needed it. So I don't know. It's it was a perfect storm of slander for him after starting 5, and those clips came out about he hated to lose to the Knicks and the insufferable fans. Then it was your birthday, then y'all lose, and then after it gets exposed that you had this in your hair, you're dirtying up other players' jerseys. It was just a lot. It was a lot to deal with, and that's why it like took me aback, because so many things to talk about. But all in all, I wouldn't wish that on anybody to get exposed like that.
Nor would I. I will just say, as someone who is neither equipped nor qualified to really be a part of this discussion, maybe next time don't do it against a team wearing the home whites. Lots of dark jerseys.
Or on a national game. On the first game on Amazon Prime.
That wouldn't matter. This game could have been on ESPN 8, and someone would have found it.
Someone would have found it, but it wouldn't have got that much. It would have been.
Listen,
it was auto spotlight.
What, bro? This is the internet. Like, that game could have been on
That's true.
ESPN News at midnight, against Florida State, and someone would have saw it, and it would have went viral. Like, it was
that is true.
And
see, now Brown was smart. He would cash in on this opportunity. Go to Amazon Prime with your representatives, and let's now, maybe a few months from now, we'll see a commercial where Jaylen Brown scrolling Twitter sees that clip, and then an ad pops up for like a Tide pen or something that you could order on Amazon Prime. And just saying, it's right there for you.
You just brought up a good point. Like, yes, it was a national TV game, but it wasn't on NBC or TNT or ESPN. It was on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And everyone, listen, it was going to happen. And look, as someone who thankfully has been blessed with good genetics when it comes to my hairline, I've never been in a situation. I'm sure if and when that day comes, I will have decisions to make. And when I have to make that decision, it probably will have been weeks, if not months, after it should have been made. So I empathize there. But at the same time, you are in a high profile role. Like, you know, and again, the Boozer thing, like you got to know your history.
That's my biggest thing. Just know your history. And you know what? I don't care if he puts shit in his hair. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of augmentation going around with people's bodies, enough to where if you want to feel good about yourself and you got to fill in here or there, whatever the case may be, do it. If you know, because they're professional players, it ain't nobody making that turkey move until after you retire. I didn't even think his hairline was that crazy, to be honest. So I'm gonna show that grace. Like, when he cut his hair and he revealed like no more braids, I thought that was perfect. Like, I was like, oh, you straight. Like, I don't think he need it, but if he wants it, that's fine. I would just say you can't do it during games because it's gonna rub off. And now, trolls are gonna be looking for that. But yeah, I support it, man. Do whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable, makes you feel like you want to be more presentable, or you just in your head, you just want to do that. Like, I'm cool with that. Like 1,000%. I just have the great stat as somebody who don't play about their hair. I have so much empathy for that. It was funny. Like, he's gonna laugh at it, but I'm like, oof. And the one time the Knicks decide to wear the home whites in this era.
I hope he laughs at it. Look, I said for a very long time, if I sense myself that it's starting to go, no one would ever know it, because I would drain my family's bank account to get that taken care of, because I am so vain and insecure. Now that I'm 42 and a half years old, I'm not saying that I would let myself go to like the Tony Soprano place. I would probably just not, but I wouldn't bick it either. I would just probably do a buzz like once every a couple of days.
Yeah. Get the Rick Carlisle.
The Carlisle.
Yeah.
I like that. I could, I'm not quite there. I'm still, well, maybe I'll get there at some point. Anyway, Celtics 0-3. Okay. All right. There's two topics let's see if we can cover them both. I wanted to have like actually a longer conversation about this, about LaMelo Ball. I kind of want to save it. So maybe we'll just very briefly. So I have video up again, if you listen on the podcast, of a shot LaMelo Ball took at the end of the Hornets Sixers game. It was a tie game with 30 some odd seconds left. LaMelo Ball decides to put up there's no way other way to describe it. A true one-legged three. The Paolo one was like what'd you call it, Jeff?
It was a fadeaway, a hairline fadeaway.
Hairline fadeaway. This was just
faded,
like truly like, I'm standing still. I'm gonna like jump off of one leg. And the shot was not close. It bricked. So the reason I wanted to bring this up is because we brought up the topic with Fred. Shawn, I know you weren't here, but we brought up the topic with Fred of like the top 10 like most interesting trade value contracts in the league. I think LaMelo Ball is number one with a bullet. Like, again, I watched most of that game. That's not the first time he did that in that game. It was a close game in the third quarter, and he pulled the same bullshit, and it was even worse. And he does stuff like this several times a game. And it's almost certainly, I think, why they lost to the Sixers. They should have never lost that game. And then he comes back last night, and went for 38, 13, and 13, albeit against a dreadful Wizards team. Led the team in plus minus. He was awesome. He is just good enough where he's going to continue to string that franchise along for, however, I don't know how many years. It's going to be a while. And yet I am convinced they are never going to win a blessed thing with him playing a significant role there. Do you have any takes on LaMelo?
LaMelo Ball is just good enough to get you fired.
There you go.
And we were talking about Paolo earlier. LaMelo's another guy, comes in the league, scores 20 and,
rookie of the year,
great
right?
passer. Did he win rookie of the year?
Well, he's one of the youngest all-stars in history because he made the all-star team as an injury replacement, but still he made the all-star team
and
he won rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year. Like, and his I actually have his stats right here in front of me. His
20-year-old all-star.
Yeah. His rookie year, he shows up and he averages 15. He's 15, 6, and 6 as a rookie. And people crown him. He's next. He's gonna do this. He's gonna do that. And there are still people, including people who I respect in this space, in this industry, in the content creation space, that like when you call him a losing player, they push back hard. And it's just like we talk about the talk about Trae Young, it has to happen this year. If it's not now or never. Like for LaMelo, like when is it gonna happen? And the excuse is like, hey, Charlotte has been a dumpster fire of an organization ever since they came back into the league. Like so you'll get no argument from me there. But to act like he's doing everything they can to win, and it's just it's just the franchise that is failing him. Like you just have your head in your sand, or you're stuck to your narrative. Like at some point, like that shit has to stop. Like I should be looking at you saying like, all right, you know what? This team may not be winning, but you have absolutely nothing to do with it. But you can't say that.
They'd be 3-0 if he cut out some of the nonsense against Philly. And it's like, what is going to be the impetus at this point? And it's like, I don't want to make this comparison, but like Cat, the stuff that frustrates about Cat. Benji was on the post game last night. He's like, it's year 10. Like, we're just going to have to deal with those stuff. I feel like we're going to be saying the same things about LaMelo, except I feel like in a way that stuff is even more destructive. I don't know, Jeff, how much LaMelo stock are you still holding as a guy who, like, if he's the best player on your team might contend for something at some point?
I've probably divested a few shares just to like get ahead of the best player stock. I still want to see the universe where Golden State drafted him instead of James Wiseman to see what he could have really become in that system. Because I think he would have killed, especially waiting for Clay. They still won a championship within that time frame, so it is what it is. But I still think back like, damn, LaMelo Ball was right there for y'all, and Steph off ball, period, while LaMelo's running the offense. maybe there's a world where we're glad that they didn't happen. I think objectively, when I look at this topic, right? I think about, what do you consider a winning player versus a losing player, somebody who doesn't play to win? And where I've landed right now is, this is a variation of the stat pattern conversation that people used to have. Sure. Where this guy will get all the numbers, they'll stack all the analytics, they'll tell you, the numbers will tell you, like back in the day before we had super advanced analytics, oh, he drops 30 a night. Like, how are you going to say that he ain't a winning player? He drops 30 a night, when you could talk about more qualitative things like decision making. How do you elevate your teammates? Do you come in with a winning mindset? Are you motivating your team to be the best you could be? And I can understand those who look at the numbers, or who just look at the player himself, just straight eye testing, is like, yo, this guy is amazing. I don't like this winning. That's been the main pushback, that the winning player narrative is too nebulous for you to actually attach it to. But I do feel like, if we used to be cool with just the eye test with a little bit of stats. When I watch him, some of the stuff that he does tells me that he's not playing as mature as you need to play for a team like Charlotte that can get elevated to a certain level where it starts with their best player. I don't think that he's whack at all. I actually think he has phenomenal skill, and he shows it. He shows it time and time and time again. It's not a case of whether or not he could be an all-star. It's like, yo, can you win at the highest level? And I'm at the point where I do not care what the advanced analytics say anymore about this guy. We know what he can do analytically. How does that translate to winning with your team? At some point, we said this about Trae Young. I said it about Trae Young. He's in a prove it year to me too. At what point are we going to stop giving grace and say, yo, dog, now you got Knipple, you got these players around you. They built this team around you. This is probably, once again, best collection of talent you've had. In this Eastern Conference, you should be able to make the play-in or make a significant run for top 6. Like this, that's the type of elevation that a lot of people are looking at with relation to his skill set. So are you going to do it? Or otherwise, we're going to have to keep looking at your true shooting percentage and your assist percentage to tell us that you're actually better than what the results are for your team. And I think that is fair, given the level of talent that he is. I think it's fair to do that.
I agree with everything you said. I think the reason it's the level of conversation it still is twofold. One, because of what Shawn said about it's Charlotte, and people default to, well, it's Charlotte, they stink, terrible organization. So how is this guy expected to elevate them? And the second thing, and this is a weird one, he's been injured so much that I actually think it has come to his benefit, because people are like, well, we can't get a real assessment because he's hurt every year and he just needs to be healthy. And I think that has like diminished the impact of his actual play style, because it's like, well, we can't judge it because he hasn't played enough games. It's Jeff, you said about like if Trae Young, we should have done this before the year. The top 10 prove it guys for this.
It's still early on to do it.
We can maybe we'll still do that.
But what I will say is, Charlotte is definitely more ass with him off the court than they are on. And that is, once again, statistical quantitative fact. But the question is, how much better could they be if LaMelo is playing at the peak that he could play? Now, if you're saying that he's already there, then what else are we going to talk about as to why are we going to keep putting it on the players around him? Or are we going to say like, yo, you have the talent to elevate into good. You have the talent. How does that translate on the court? Aside from the fact that you're clearly the best player, and without you, they're a lottery team for sure. Yeah. When you take a step back, threes fading, and it's not even so much that we're containing it to just that one moment. It's that people can pull out a list of moments to say, yo, this is what I mean when I say he's not a winning player. I still think the jury is out. And I think because of his talent, I wouldn't say that he's not a winning player. Maybe in a different environment where he's challenged more to be a winning player, I don't know what Charles Lee's doing. I think Charles Lee's a good coach.
He's
I
a
don't
good
know what
coach.
I don't know. And
think he's
I feel like he
trying.
has too much talent for me to be saying I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. I guess this is the last thing. If your player is in year 6 and you're still in I don't know phase to use your what we were saying, Jeff, earlier about like what phase are we in? If you're still asking this and it's year 6, that's like Jalen Brunson came here. Sorry to go to Jalen Brunson, but like that's the typical example of like he was here for a month in New York and to have his own team, and we're like, oh, okay, he has the goods. He's the guy. Like if you're asking the questions in year 6, that's probably not a great sign. Okay, very briefly because the most relevant news, at least in terms of immediacy, Austin Reeves went for 51 last night on 22 shots against the Sacramento Kings, which is like going for 31 against a real NBA team. Did it with Luka Doncic out. Lakers won. Got to the free throw line 20 some odd times, much to the chagrin of DeMar DeRozan after the game. This summer, he will be an unrestricted free agent. He could sign for up to 25% max. That's 5 for $240 with the Lakers, or up to 4 for $180 with another team. We'll have the more extended Austin Reeves like free agency convo at some point this year because I think it's an interesting one. I just pulled this from a preseason article. ESPN is projecting at least 10 teams to have significant cap space. I'm going to read the 10 teams in this ESPN article, and you are going to tell me before we leave which is the team you think is most likely to give Austin Reeves the full boat, 4 for $180. Ready? Brooklyn, Charlotte.
Yes.
Excuse me, Shawn. Please wait until I've done reading the entire question before you give your answer.
All right. I'm gonna write down. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Brooklyn, Charlotte, Chicago, Detroit, the Clippers, the Lakers. You could choose the Lakers if you want. Portland, Utah, and Washington. I have a very clear number one, but Shawn, feel free to go first since you.
I actually believe the number one team.
Hold on, let's wait. We should all write it down so we don't.
So I wrote down 4 teams. Number one with a bullet is the Utah Jazz.
Oh. Everybody see that?
John is holding up a piece of paper that says Jazz.
Jazz.
Number one with a bullet for reasons that I am not going to get into on this show. I think Brooklyn is number 2 simply because he's someone that the Brooklyn Nets can sell to put asses in the seats. Because yes, they can. Like he's a Laker and he scored 20.
Hold on. We really think Austin Reeves is going to get the fannies and seats at the Barclays Center?
They were peddling 3 for 1 with James Harden, Kyrie, and KD on that squad.
Come on, man.
They were doing ticket deals.
Yes.
With 3 of the best to ever do it.
Like, listen, every young player who scores 20 has a hive. Everyone. And it's like, oh, we got Austin. You know what
they're better off doing? They're better off trading for LaMelo Ball than signing Austin Reeves.
No, that's with a bullet. Like they would offer him
if they want fans in the seats. That's what they're better off doing.
They would be able. Now I didn't say it would necessarily work, but that's what they were going to think. It's like, hey, we got a guy, right? Because does Brooklyn have a guy right now? Please do not tell me Cam Thomas is a guy.
Went for 40 in San Antonio.
That's God bless him. And that and a token will get you to Coney Island in 1997. Like, I look, man.
All right,
like, go ahead.
You got Brooklyn. You got Jazz, then Brooklyn. I said Jazz number 1. I will just say I think Austin Reeves would be welcomed with open arms by the Jazz fan base. Yes. Jeff, what say you?
Damn, I didn't even think about that. Like I was thinking rationally. I was thinking rationally in terms of basketball, but like, yeah, the non-Jazz division. I say, bro, if I am the Detroit Pistons,
oh my goodness,
Detroit.
If I'm Detroit, they need somebody to score. They need somebody to score.
You
I'd
need a
say
second guy.
Detroit.
That's true.
I'd say Detroit. Who's my top four?
They're low on my
Utah,
list.
Brooklyn, Detroit, or the dark horse, Charlotte.
Oh my god.
I
actually don't. Between Ball, he also not be named, and Miller, I think they'll be like, we're good on it.
I would my top three in some order. Utah's number one. After that, I would go that I think the Lakers will obviously do a lot to try to keep him. And then Brooklyn, and I would say Washington only because I wonder if the last few years for the Wizards have inspired some level of reality that it is hard to get that guy, and who they could have all the cap space in the world for the next X number of years, but someone has to want to come and play in Washington. Maybe Austin Reeves is that guy. Listen, there's only one way to find out, and it's to open your checkbook. So I would say the Wizards after the Jazz.
My dark horse is Portland.
But they just traded Shaden. Well, Shaden Sharp's not nearly as good as Reeves, but I thought about them, Shawn. I'll give you that. I thought about them. I just don't know because they have a lot of defense.
Yeah.
All right.
That's they're my dark horse, but and then to your point, the Lakers would keep him, but listen, the Lakers will you keep the asset, and then as they try to rebuild, try to build around Luka, and when the King is no longer there, because I do not see him being a Laker after this year. That's something they will retain him, but not necessarily all right, this is gonna be a 1-2 punch. It'll be this is the Lakers. They're trying to get the next star, and if I can dangle Austin Reeves in front of you to some disgruntled star, or I don't know, one that I'm not gonna say his name. It's possible, but I think it's Utah for Bullet. You want to talk about putting asses in the seats in Utah? He's gonna do a great job of that, and then Brooklyn.
Sneaky, under the radar, maybe storyline if Luke is out for a week. If the Lakers were, let's say middling, a 500-ish, maybe a little bit lower than 5. If the LeBron injury turned into a thing, and they're also just not deep enough. If there was an Austin Reeves trade, sweepstakes, I guess you could probably have to call it a trade sweepstakes, right? Heading into this deadline, that would be really interesting. I wonder how that would go, and if the Lakers would actually open things up. Again, assuming that, because obviously if their season is going well, they're not going to do that. But if it's all right, well, we're kind of going to, we're looking forward to next year anyway. Once the LeBron situation is figured out, let's that might be something worth watching.
I'll say this really quickly. So for Brooklyn, maybe not put asses in the seats, but it's
you're skeptical now.
I characterized it wrong. It's they can talk themselves into we have a guy, we have a piece. And I'm reminded of when they got Mikal Bridges in the KD deal, and then he started scoring 28 a game, whatever. And all the Brooklyn fans were like, "Oh, we got a guy, we got a piece, we got a building block." Brooklyn can sell that we got a building block in Austin Reeves. So it's not necessarily with asses in the seats, but it's oh, we have something we have something that we can, not necessarily he's their friend, he's going to be their best player on a really good team, but we got a guy that they can sell. And that's why I think Brooklyn will be after Utah, they will be absolutely, because they're irrelevant in the largest city in America. They're irrelevant, and that would give them some semblance of relevancy.
Over under, Jeff, 42.5 season ticket packages they sell on the day they announce the Austin Reeves signing.
Man, send me that under. Send me the price. I don't care if it's yesterday's price, today's price, or tomorrow's price. I'm paying the price, bro.
Oh my.
I'm paying the price, bro. Come on, dog. Yo, my man James Harden was out there with a box of chocolates talking about we need people to watch us play basketball. I just got here from Houston or Philadelphia. I just got here from Houston.
Houston.
We need people to play. We have good guys. We have Kevin Durant. We have Kyrie Irving. We got something shaking right now. Come on, man. Come on. They might dark horse over if they're selling corporate season tickets. And people get those prices for cheap so that they can see the stars play in Brooklyn for like half the price that you would have to go to MSG.
Listen,
that's the dark horse over.
Blue collar, white collar, red collar, pink, any collar. You're welcome at Barclays Center. Really, you don't even have to wear any clothes. You can just walk right in with your ticket. Sorry,
I'm trying to load up to see the price for tickets for the Nets against the Hawks on Wednesday night, and it like
200 for the 100 sections. I'm going sub 300 for the 100 sections.
So like so you can get in the 100 section for $92.43.
So the 100 section is like in
So
the teens away from the court, like 50
the first level away from the court.
Yeah. So you have like the floor. So you have like the floor and that level, and then you have the second level. It's like
the level that you could see on TV.
So I could watch.
That's a single numbers. That's gonna be a little bit more like, but
but like 18 rows back, I could watch Hawks Nets on what, Wednesday night? You said
yes. Section 117, row 7. $92.
How much is the single digit sections? How much is like the lounge sections and all of that?
The lounge section, let's see. The first
I'm gonna say that's still sub 3.
That's definitely gonna be sub 3. Like the first single digit number, you know what? Section 9, because that's the most seats, is $200
per ticket.
When the Knicks are up there, everything is double.
Yes.
And I get it. Everything is double.
Well, listen, man. It's 2.5 hour experience watching, Trae Young, entertaining Hawks team, $90-something you said. So it's like 100 with fees and everything.
That's a good ticket.
That's $200. Listen, man, I haven't lived in that part of Brooklyn for the last 4 years before I moved. $200. That's like your standard sushi night. That's not even that's not omakase price. That's like we're going to like the decent sushi restaurant in our neighborhood, and we're gonna order enough food to fill us both up and get a bottle of sake. Then you're 200 right there.
I actually found section 31, which is the lower level. You can get, including fees, $135.
Come on, man.
Row 18.
Come on, man.
So listen, look. Now you telling me again? I don't think Austin Reeves is gonna have them sell out, but it's like this. Then it's like, hey, we got this guy. He used to be a Laker. Like. So to bring everything full circle, that's why non-Utah division.
You're talking about if they get Reeves, then it's like, am I giving up a sushi dinner versus am I giving up, a night at Peter Luger's? It's a more difficult decision. That's basically what we're getting at.
Exactly. And I mean, he could sell Brooklyn hipster. Oh, I already see the marketing. It's a wrap.
Put a plaid shirt and a mustache.
Artisanal pickles that he curates in his kitchen and whatnot. Come on now.
20% off IPAs, and then it's lit.
Let's go. Brunch boots on Sunday. We lit.
There's so many breweries in Brooklyn. They could craft an IPA around him.
He's averaging
Austin's Ale. It's
AR Ale. Yep.
He's averaging 34 points a game.
Fred was right. The 50 ball is stepped on in the league right now. I can see the 50 ball is stepped on, bro.
We have gone. We probably should have ended this show 15 minutes ago.
Very much so.
Yes, we should have.
Yes, we should have. This was great. We got to talking about sushi. Okay, Jeff, Shawn, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you guys both. Anything before we leave, Jeff?
No, thank y'all for locking in. Call to action. You already know the vibes. Like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to share this with a friend. Tap into all of our socials. Tap into everywhere where you get podcasts, or sooner enough, everywhere where you get podcasts. The main place where you get podcasts, we already. If
Yes.
you're doing something on offshoot, go get the RSS feed and you're straight. I'm sure you are technologically savvy enough to know how to get this feed if you need to get this feed in audio form. But we'll make it more conducive to you soon.
Subscribe on YouTube. Put your alerts on so you know when we go live. Shawn, last words.
Today this was also a great weekend because Chelsea lost and Tottenham won.
Oh God! All right. Sunderland will come for you soon too. Don't worry.
All right,
Sunderland is out of here, bro.
Off the rails.
Soccer talk. Excuse me. Football talk. We started with football talk. We end with football talk. Either way, it's time for me to get the hell out of here. Everybody, thank you for checking out another episode of NBA Takedown. We got great stuff coming up this week. I already teased it. The Yaron interview is popping up. I got another guest excited about popping up later in the week. On behalf of Shawn and Jeff, everybody enjoy the start of your week, and we will be back with more before you know it. Take care and peace out.